So I'm curious, what, I know you had some trepidation, but what was the catalyst for you wanting to come and have a patio session?
Well, one, I just wanted to catch up, and then two, I just wanted to hear, I don't know, I think opening yourself up to conversations and having these conversations, that only good can come out of it. Just a little bit of insight and get a feel for real-time feelings and how people handle, and because I don't have to deal with it. Never had to deal with it. I'm white. I'm a white girl. I have to ride my way out of tickets, and that is just a totally different world that we have to live in.
Yeah.
And I think people just need to have conversations with each other.
Yeah.
And get a little bit of insight. The world doesn't revolve around you. It's not about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So take me back to your trepidation.
I don't know. Just because, we were tight in high school.
Yeah.
But, you went to college. I did whatever I was doing. And, that just happens.
Yeah.
You just lose touch with people.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can be like, hey man, you want to talk about racial things? I don't know. I don't know, because we used to be tight and we've known each other forever.
Yeah.
But I don't know why I was so hesitant. I typed it so many times.
Really? It's like, seriously, how many times do you think you typed it?
Probably 5 times. I'm not lying.
Really?
Over the course of the past 2 weeks.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
And I don't know why. I was just like, no, I'm not gonna bother him.
Bother me?
I know. I don't know. I can't tell. That's why when I texted you, I was like, I don't know why.
Yeah.
I can't pinpoint why.
Yeah.
I don't know. But here we are.
No, I love it. And thank you again for reaching out and for coming over. But that is very, that's an indicator of a lot of the sentiment that I've realized this week. Well, not even this week, the last couple of weeks, is people, it's been said over and over, I don't know I didn't know what to say. I didn't even, my guy who lived, the barista that I met, and he lives 2 streets over, we've been talking about getting up forever, and then finally he'd hit me up a week or two ago, what better time than now? Can I come? Yes, please. But even he was I didn't know what to say, and then a lot of it was I didn't know what space you were in, or how it would be perceived, and this and that. What I'm learning too is you can't worry about the fallout on how somebody might receive your intentions. And that's why even with my posting and all that, I have not been this vocal about anything in a long time. Right? I used to be vocal about very stupid shit. You know what I mean? Yes. In my feels, posting that, you know what I'm saying? Just young and stupid.
Of course.
Right?
We all did.
Yeah, yes. And so then once Facebook got older, especially mostly Facebook, because Instagram you control your content, you control your audience, right? Mm-hmm. For the most part. But so I never really worried about it. But Facebook, I've never really come into the space like I have now. But Amy, this, I won't even say support, but just the encouragement. People have come out of the woodworks. Literally, I had to click on their profiles and find out how I know people. They're like, man, thank you so much for these posts. Keep it going. And I'm not this isn't a Donovan session, but anyway, but in that I've learned it's necessary. And if I was still worried about how my tone appeared, what my words, how they impacted, all of that, I wouldn't be nowhere near as vocal, because that's what has kept me to just being silent.
Yeah.
My parents are on,
yeah.
All of that. Let me
feel
just.
You have to censor yourself.
Yeah. I'm no.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. So yeah. I don't give a camera be damn, Facebook be damn. It doesn't really matter to me. But that's the only way that we have to be able to have a true dialogue.
1,000%. I could not agree more. And I've even I hate Facebook. I had it for a little bit when when it was first a thing, when you had to have an EDU address for it. Okay. Mm-hmm. I was on Facebook when you had to have an EDU address.
Yep.
And it was all fun and cool, whatever. You're connecting with people from high school, whatever, and it's fun. And then obviously they opened it up to the general public, and I was like, nope. But Facebook now, I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you, I only use it for work. I don't. Yeah. I reposted a story from one of our good friends' wives, because she's Indian, Joseph is black, and they have 2 boys. Anyway, she posted something about that, so I reposted that. Outside of that, though, I'm like, I'm not even gonna get on that forum, and I've been just using Instagram mostly. But I've been vocal in the past about, things that are important to me, but in a very neutral way. Like, I'm not going to tell you how to feel one way or the other. And I feel like now, I'm still not going to tell you how to feel one way or another, but this is how I feel. Yeah. And this is what's actually happening. And if you can't see that, unless we can sit down and have a conversation about it.
You're not interested in the back and forth.
I don't want to hear, I've already gotten some DMs or whatever that are like, this is the stupidest shit I've ever heard. Yes.
Those talk about what? What specific?
Specifically,
Black Lives Matter. What are we talking about?
Black Lives Matter. So I put something up. I put something on my story, and I can't remember specifically what it was, but it was just a troll. I don't follow you. I don't even know I don't know who you are. Yeah. And if you're coming at me,
speak freely, Amy.
If you're coming at me immediately, aggressive like that, absolutely not. If you want to have an open dialogue and a conversation about it, absolutely. But if you're coming at me with the heat already, this is so stupid. Okay. No.
Shut down.
Shut down. Yep. Yeah, shut it down. I'm not even going to engage with you. Also, I'm going to crank out whatever content I want to crank out, period.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know, I've never really, I always try to be very open-minded. And I care deeply about people. And I think I'm a very empathetic person. Stuff seeps into my soul. Yeah. Yeah. And this whole thing brought to light. So I thought I was, I don't want to use the word woke. I hate that word. But
it's why? Now we'll come back to that.
I don't know, just because it's overused in very menial things that don't even make sense. And I'm just whatever. But this has opened my eyes to a lot of stuff that I, didn't necessarily realize that I hadn't experienced it. It's heartbreaking. And listening to your stories and stuff that happened to you in high school when we were friends. I had no idea. No clue. Just, when you're a kid, you're oblivious to the world revolves around you.
Yeah. Facts.
You're oblivious to other people's experiences.
Facts. But even and I got a question for you. Remind me. But to that vein, like you said, in high school, right? That's where we relate. That's where we know each other from. That's where our friendship started. You said being oblivious to, Rebecca, my friend who came over last night, who is from ACU, she's 11 years older than me. She's 44. I'm 33. She graduated ACU at 33, and so she was older then. But when she interviewed, I had no recollection of this at all. I'm bad. You ask people, my memory is just very selective and not good at stuff. Same. I mean, even now, when we play soccer with Leo, Fidel, they'll be like, bro, oh yeah, we were before COVID, every Monday, and it was every week, especially Fid, he'd be like, bro, you remember when you remember? I don't remember any of it, and I've had a couple concussions. But anyway, when she reminded me, of that comment she made and it brought me to tears, Amy, because it was just have you been racially profiled here in Abilene? I remember specifically the one time that was, I posted about it, and I think you probably saw it with the cops that pulled me over, and 7 showed up, questioned by 4, dogs, street blocked off, all of that. And so then when she asked me, how does it happen in DFW, and I was just just a few times. That's not that bad kind of thing. like normalizing,
Yeah.
you know, that type of experience. And so, yeah, I mean, just kind of going back to like being oblivious. I have been oblivious by omission, by suppression, to so many experiences, and like this has woke me up to that. And I'm calling a spade a spade. Like these are just these are traumas. And you know, the way that you deal with trauma is to dive into it, to ignore it, to bury it, you know, or to work with it. And so I think the Black experience, I truly believe, is so traumatic, it's become normal. And that's where it's like, no more. Like, and all these things, people, when my mom posted that long post, it rocked me. Victoria was like in there, like holding me up, like reading that. It took me like half an hour just to read her post. I just kept breaking down because my mom never posts first and foremost. Yeah. Never posts. And so when she talks about like, and she went in detail about like how our conversation started when she told me I was gonna get pulled over, and I was dating Stephanie Robles at the time, and she was like, you know, you have a biracial, you're biracial, you gotta be in a decent vehicle. This is what you need to do. And then when I had to have our speaker, and she recanted the times he got pulled over here, he got pulled over in St. Louis, he got pulled over in Chicago, he got pulled, like, and I was just reliving those traumas, like shit, like. My mom remember all of it, you know, and then
it's traumatic for her too. She's so scared for you.
Yeah, and that was another thing that got me. And then she was like, "Well, my husband's pulled over in our neighborhood, 2 blocks from our house," and then she's like, "I was so mad at him." Then I remembered he's a Black man in America. Yeah. And at least he made it home. I was I was undone. But I was like, and then when she was like, "So this is why Black Lives Matter."
Yes.
Like,
and it blows my mind how people don't understand the movement. And I've been very vocal with my family, not just now, but ever since I came into adulthood and kind of into your own.
Yeah.
I'm very vocal.
They probably see you as like the wild child, huh?
Oh yeah, yep.
You're an only too, right?
No, I have an older brother.
Oh, okay.
He's, I have an older brother. He's 37.
Okay.
But I've been very vocal. I call them out on their shit because my uncle says, I mean, just a very like throwaway comment. I remember specifically at my grandmother's 82nd birthday party. He says something. He was talking about my cousin Jacqueline she goes to UT at the admissions office or something. This was 2 or 3 years ago. I can't remember, but he said something about there was 2 Black women that were running the admissions office, and he said something about like, well, you know them, they're like lazy or something like that. I was like, I was doing dishes in the kitchen. I was like, I'm sorry, what? And then Kirk jumped in, and we both jumped in a very...
Kirk's about that life too, huh?
Oh, Kirk's about that life. Me and Kirk are both like,
I knew I liked him. I knew I liked him. I knew I liked my guy.
Oh yeah, he's a good dude.
I knew I liked him. Yeah.
But there's been multiple instances like that. So I've always been vocal about with my family, especially my mom, who has since, obviously she's had a lot of health trouble forever and ever and ever. There was an instance about I don't even know when now, where she was like forced to retire because of a health issue, so now can't work. And since then, she's home by herself a lot and on Facebook a lot. And it just seems like it's getting worse and worse and worse. And when I talk to her about these things, we get into like almost screaming matches with each other. And
how old is she?
She's 60. Let's see, 60.
Early 60s.
Early 60s.
Yeah.
She's huge. Anyway.
She's in there.
Yep. She's in there. And it just blows my mind. I literally, because we had, she had to stay the night with us one night because I was taking her to the airport. And this was back with the Dreamers stuff.
What?
The Dreamers, like the DACA and the Dreamers Act that like Obama had rolled out for like illegal, like immigrants to stay here for school.
Okay. Like asylum kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like an act that like keeps them here for school so they can just better themselves and have a fucking life.
Yeah.
And we got into a screaming match about that. And it just blows. I'm like, I don't understand how you can't and I even flip it to her. I'm like, what if it was me? What if I was the one that was getting kicked out of the country because of nothing I did wrong. Nothing I did wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm a functioning citizen, and I go to school, and I work, and that's all I do. And like, what if it were me?
Yeah.
And there goes all my opportunities. So I can flip it, and I just don't understand how you can't. It just doesn't compute, and it's not just my mom. It's a ton of people, and I'm like, how do you not understand that this is? It's really discouraging, and I don't know. I just don't know what to. I'm getting like worked up thinking about it. I'm shaking.
It's okay. That's why we got this. Yeah. There's a. I like what you say about like the world doesn't revolve around certain people, right, or a group of people. But in our society, it does. Right?
Yeah.
It does, and but like you're kind of calling for like a kick in the ass for these people, and a guy who came and sat in that seat, a pastor, white pastor, known it forever. He brought up this term, and you might have seen, like white fragility. That's a whole new thing, right?
Yeah.
And like he broke it down for me because I was like, huh? And then there's
it's not technically new. It's been around for a while.
See, I guess.
But nobody.
Yeah, and then there's
now it's in the public eye.
There's white fragility, and then there's virtue pointing or signing or virtue signaling. Virtue signaling. Yeah, which I had to learn about that. So anyway, I'm experiencing that. And I think I'm experiencing that like through a lot of these conversations in the same sense I brought up earlier with people. I was talking to somebody today from my company. He called me a couple weeks back, and I've been very displeased, to say the least, at how my company's handled this. And in my own team, I'm the only black person in my entire organization in my company. I'm in LASIK sales. We're a small division, but from sales to director, meaning manager's manager, and then even above him, everything. I'm the only black person. And we're small. So there's 14 of us, technically salespeople. There's 2 managers, there's a director, then there's his boss. So I'm one of 16.
Yeah.
I'm 1/16. Like
literally.
1/16, right? Yeah. And so like when this all happened, I mean, long story short, there was silence for a few days, and it took my boss calling me like a couple days out. Amy, I was in a rough place, man. And he was like, "Are you okay?" And he didn't ask me from like a place of true empathy and like it was more like, "Yo, like what's going on with you?" Like I was like, "No, I'm not okay."
Was he unaware of?
Yeah, and so I'll tell you the story. So that day, my dad had called me. We've had boat issues since we had this boat. Long story short, so
like everybody has a boat.
Oh my gosh. So, oh my gosh, it's been a trip. So we take it. My dad is like so upset this particular day, and it's right on the heels of George Floyd, and he's so upset. And my dad's Jamaican. You know that. You remember that. And my dad has been through so much. I mean, even going back to his childhood, having a speech impediment, he stutters, right? He had to get past. He got teased in Jamaica amongst his own for that, and he came here. One of his first experiences, he went to a barber shop. He loved Western movies. Went to a barber shop. He saw the straight edge like through the window, like with the leather belt that sharpened all that. Went in excited, sat in the chair. So I was like, I don't cut niggers' hair. And he was like looking around. He didn't know what a nigger was. He didn't know what the word meant.
Well, because they don't say that in Jamaica.
He never seen it. Like,
America.
So
United States.
So it started there, and then he had, and it only got worse, right? Like, because the more you know, the worse it is, kind of thing, right? So anyway, I remember that morning, he had went to Bass Pro like without me, and my dad is not as I calculated and measured with his words, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And interaction. I mean, I'm in sales, so I've had to like.
You know how to finagle.
Sort of.
Speak to people and.
My dad knows he knows what he wants, and he wants to get there And he might not always, he's very direct.
Yeah.
And he's not, you know, always like, which is, hey, I mean, that's one approach. But I was like, he called me, he was so upset because they like sent to like, giving it a ringer and sent it through the ringer or whatever. I was like, Dad, I'm on my way. Before I left the house, I was crying. I was like in tears for him. But it's not even that. Like I think it just had bubbled over because I was like so. Like I felt his frustration because he was like, they call me Van. It's like you remember? I think you remember my family called me Van.
Yeah.
Like, maybe, but anyway, he was like, Van, no, like they're not gonna keep. And I just when he said they, and he wasn't just talking about Bass Pro. He was talking about all the people who have heard his accent and tried to minimize his humanity. All the people who took advantage of him when he knew no better. When he was like, I just felt it all. And I was. So we went to Bass Pro. Long story short, we didn't get the outcome I wanted, so I already felt defeated. I felt like I didn't. I just felt like they'll never see us. Like they were at fault. They were clearly at fault. They admitted they were at fault, yet they were only willing to do this much to fix it, right? Where, doing the right thing would be the right thing even if it costs you a little bit. In the grand scheme of things, you're a huge company. Like I already know if it's $2,000, that's nothing. I think so. Anyway, so I'm coming back from that whole, and so that whole thing was just draining, emotional. That's when my boss called me. And so that's when he was like, "You okay?" I was like, "No, not the hell I'm not." Like, and I just, and then I was like, "I gotta go." Like I was out of there, Amy. And so he was like, "Take a couple days, take your time." Like, and that's when I think that's when it finally hit to him. Like, we got a real situation. Like, people are really hurting. Like, it took him having to hear excruciatingly and probably like very uncomfortable for him my pain, for him to be like, okay, maybe we need to address this, and and then I guess he told it. Yeah, long story short, he had to tell. I know he had to like prod members of our team to reach out. And I was like, yo, if my dog died and I took some time off and my grandmother passed, like people would at least have the courtesy to go, hey man, thinking of you. Like,
1000%. That's why what's the divide? I just don't, what do you think the divide is?
As far as divide meaning?
Why, if your dog died, your teammates would be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry dude, I hope you're okay. But this entire, like you see it on the news, it's all over, like you can't, it's everywhere. How do you not relate to that? Because
I think when they see me, it's like, oh, that's not Donovan. It is. Why can't people relate? Right? Kind of like the whole Black Lives Matter thing. In my opinion, it's just a complete and utter lack of empathy. And willing to empathize. Like, empathy is something that I believe you could be born with. Like, my wife is just, I think she's a natural empathizer. Like, you start crying, she's gonna start crying. Like, she's just, that's just, yeah, I mean, I know, yeah, you have that spirit in you. I believe, like, I'm not a person of natural empathy. But it took me going through some experiences, Man, I got a guy coming next week from my gym, and when I did a little speech, I don't know if you saw it at my gym last week.
Oh yeah, I saw it. Yeah. I thought it was well said.
Well, thank you.
I'm glad that you did.
That.
It's cool. It's really cool to see you. Just being so vocal and active.
Thank you.
Love it.
I appreciate that. But anyway, like he's gay, and I thought he was. I remember when I first came to the gym, and I made a joke about like him going. Because I don't want to assume, so I purposely made a joke like it was like a Friday night, like get on some lady or something who's like, and then like the girl next to him like died laughing. She's like, no, really? I was like, what? He was like, man, I'm gayer than a. He said something, I just died laughing. But I was like, okay, I want him to tell me before I assume. So I was like, all right. So anyway, he stayed after for a dialogue with like me and like some of my guys, the cigar group that came, and we spoke and we just had a great dialogue, and we spoke about so much, but him and I have been texting a lot back and forth and talking, and he was telling me how like he shares, like we share a commonality in just the experience, right? Because of our background. A lot of people at our gym are like, it's a very diverse gym. But I had to tell him, like, yo, bro, I don't even think I told you. Like, we had a guy in my cigar group who, because I'm on the point of empathy, I'm getting there, right?
Yeah.
One night, Amy, it was like 2 a.m. We were in the bed, sleep. I don't know. I think it was a Friday, and I just happened to roll over, see my phone like lit up. He was like, "Girl, like I'm so sorry if I ever came on to you, like blah blah." And I always kind of have my suspicions. Like you can kind of see it.
Yeah.
But again, I'm gonna let them say it. Like I want you to define yourself, you know, and then. So anyway, I was like, "No, bro, you good, whatever." So at our next meeting, I pulled him aside afterwards. And I was like, "Hey, bro, like." I need you to know, man, like, what's in that?
It's pride juice.
Oh my God, man. I was like, bro, like, nothing you could ever say or do would change, like, how I feel about you, bro. As a brother, bro, like, I love you, man, and even if you did, like, I can handle that. Like, it's all good, bro. Like, it wouldn't, but then it made me, like, just not have that convo, and I could literally see his countenance, like, embarrassed and ashamed. And I, like, had to look him in the eyes and be like, bruh, like, nah, this ain't the type of party. Like, I need you to know, like, I love you, man. I don't give a shit. Like, we'll figure that out. Like, but you should never you don't have to apologize. So, but I was like, but, bro, that being said, like, please, like, help me understand, like, how do you identify? What's your sexual orientation? Like, give me the game now, you know?
Yeah.
He was like, I'm bisexual, like, blah, 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 still want to have a kid. I was like, I would love for you to speak at our next meeting. We need this as black men, we need that. So, he did, and he was nervous and all, but Amy, and then we had, like, 4 new guys show up, and that was the topic, like, but it was the best. Oh my! It was like in 2 years, that was probably the most powerful meeting we've had, and it just opened up so much. And people would literally ask him questions like, "Bro, so what does it mean when gay, queer? Like, what's it like?"
So a lot of people don't know.
Don't know
which pronouns to use.
Don't know. It takes entering. So again, go back to it takes entering into empathy by experience and by like going into and walking with these people. When I was in college. She's actually coming next week. She's one of my mentors. Like, she's like a spiritual mom to me. I love her. She is a spiritual mother to me. I have a very good one. But she's another one that I met in college. And she was...
You never have enough. You know what I mean?
Amy, she was there through, like, the shit. You know, like, I was in her office. Yeah, because she was at... Yes.
Those formidable years?
She was a professor in my major in communications. So I had, like, a few of her classes. And I just always felt like she could, like, if you met her, you probably within like 20 minutes be like, I don't know what you did to me, but I'm about to cry. She's just like the most loving. So anyway, she started this group. So back then, I got to preface it because the verbiage has changed. This was 2007, 8-ish, 9. So, yeah. So back then, and this is a Christian school, right?
ACU, right?
ACU, yeah. Church of Christ affiliated. Yeah. And so she started a group for same-sex attraction called Centerpiece. Okay? So that's what the group... And
is that allowed there?
No. But she did it in her home.
Good for her.
And she had, like... It was so powerful, but she asked me to join. And she was like, Donovan, like... I want you to be a part of this because I know this might not be your struggle, but she knew good and damn well how many struggles I had because I was always in her office crying it out, you know. And so she was like, she was like, listen, I know like you have your own issues here, but like I just think that and she obviously knew my heart enough to know like that I didn't really give a shit about like what you were affiliated with. Like I was just so raw and emotional. Like all I could see was people's hearts and like and spirits, and I was just in such an emotionally deeply connected place. She knew that I judgment was like the last thing, like the last thing in me. Like I had no judgment left, right? Because I grew up my whole life judging people. You knew that. It's not a problem.
Probably judged me too.
You knew that. Like I was the worst, right? So anyway, I joined this group, and I will never forget one of the most indelible impressions was a husband and wife that came. The husband still struggle with being attracted to men. I was married to a woman. She came and supported and like. So I learned how hurtful the word faggot was.
The worst.
Amy, me and Leo said it all the time.
Oh,
all the time.
Everybody in high school back then said it. Everybody said it.
All the time. Yeah, and you know, it's
or that's gay.
That's gay. Yeah, that's gay.
Still, that's like
gay,
not tight. Or another thing that I'm sidebarring here, but we'll get back.
You're good.
When people say it's retarded, like that still. Anyway, I digress. But
no,
yes.
you don't. I mean, it's all in that same vein.
Yeah.
You know. But anyway, like the point I was making about that was just like, if had I never walked with that group, I don't think I would have ever understood, you know. And now I know that.
How would you?
Yeah, and like I would have never gone to love with people who had and that time it was a struggle. I don't know if people still relate that, like they're in the church, they're Christian, whatever. Like that's a whole other debate. I'm not here. I'm not there for that.
I know.
But at that time of my life with that group, that's what it was. And there was a space for people to just come, express, experience, and be loved. And I did the same thing. I expressed, I experienced, and I was loved. She had like a prayer ottoman at the end that like, you know, whoever was like needed it or wanted it would sit on that. I mean, it was just such, she always baked cookies. And I used to come from soccer practice. I'd be sweaty, smelly. I'd change in the bathroom, like, and I remember she's like, I need you.
People were like that.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my, now I'm crying.
Oh, like, but that's it though. Like, she's like, I need you to show up just like that. I need you to show up with your sweat. I need you to show up with that because it's so different from this, but like, everyone understands the heart behind it. Why can't we? And that's what, I think that's what like these patio sessions, that's what the posting, all that's about is like, let's show up, you know?
It's not hard. I'm not asking you to change your whole life.
Yeah.
Just active listening. Active listening. Just listen to people. Don't just hear them. Actively listen to that person and take in what their experience is.
Yeah.
I feel very, very lucky having gone into the hospitality industry. Because I was exposed to a lot of different kind of people and a lot of different kind of lifestyles. Very young.
Yeah.
So, these are my friends. Like, why would I judge you for, being a lesbian? I don't care. Do you? Like, that? How does that affect me?
Yeah.
And it took obviously I grew up in the church. Granddad's a preacher. Conservative.
What church was it? Baptist? What denomination?
Methodist.
Oh, okay. Not like the liberal Methodist.
Nope. No. Methodist. A lot of guilt I had to work through, therapy. You get it?
Oh, I get it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I get it.
So, you have this conservative Christian white family, and you're told these ridiculous things. I was told when I was a kid, if you had tattoos, you're going to hell. Okay? Thank you.
Yep.
I was told listening to rap music was bad. And
yeah.
Okay. Well, see you later.
Yeah.
No, but that exposure to all these different kinds of people, because you're in people are just in their little bubble, and they don't have that exposure. And I think if you would just step out of bounds a few times, talk to people, get to know people, it opens up an entire world.
Yeah.
And I feel like the hospitality industry did that for me.
Yeah.
And I still am learning and, doing what I can, but I feel very fortunate because of that.
Yeah.
I'm sure you do too, for having that professor in college that opened you up to this world.
Saved my life. She was a part, like, Amy, I contemplated suicide.
I had no idea.
Oh yeah, I contemplated suicide. That was the most pivotal moment in my life. I would never forget I will never forget that moment. I had a bottle of pills. I sat on and I was a junior, so I was on my apartment floor. Opened that bottle. By myself. I had a roommate, but he got a girl pregnant early on and he had to move. So there was a time there where, it was just me before I had another roommate. There was one of my teammates and good, he was a bro. He still is, and we don't keep in touch much. But anyway, like we're all good. It's all love. So I was just going through it. Like I was in such a depressed place. Like that's another story too. Like my apartment when I moved back wasn't ready. It was football time. I was in camp. I was sleeping on somebody's couch. Me and my ex had broke up. It was just a complete shit show. Like, you could not paint it any worse for me. And a lot of it was because too, like I was a prisoner of my own ego and pride. So like literally in that moment, God like stripped it all away. I had nothing. Like, but even in that, I still have privilege, right? Like I'm still not on the streets. I'm still going to college. Like I'm still playing football. So I mean,
but still, always validate those feelings. Don't discount that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But so at that point, I felt like I didn't really have too much. Like it was just like shit. I don't even have a place to lay my head. Which I really didn't, except on my guy's couch. And then I'm laying my head there and I'm thinking about my ex, like in town, like wanting nothing to do with me, which was new too, because I was always like, I could just, whatever I want, go. No, it wasn't nothing like that. It's the whole script was flipped. Yeah, that's right. The whole script was flipped. That's right. Back to that day on that floor, I just remember being like, man, I can end it all now. I remember that thought clear as day. And I'm looking at these pills, I was just like, damn, because you remember, like, I thought I was the man in high school. Like, I was that guy. Like, yeah. I mean, that was
high school.
Ego. But in that moment, what I'm getting at is when I opened that bottle of pills, I sat there and I had that thought, I could just end it all right now. I broke. I have no idea how we got here. But
no, it's so interesting.
But yeah, anyway, I mean,
so you have to be like stripped of
everything. But I think that begs the point of I would have never joined that group had I not come to the end of myself. A same-sex attraction group, keep that over there.
Yeah.
I would have never experienced such a great degree of empathy had I not been stripped to myself. And so going back to like our conversation, talking about privilege, talking about white fragility and things like that, a lot of people have not come to the end of themselves because it's been given.
Nope.
It's been given, it's been so easy.
Yeah.
But they've lived the American dream.
Yeah.
Literally. A lot of white people have lived the American dream and it's worked out great.
Yeah.
It's safe, you're a good person. I haven't discriminated. I'm not racist. Like
no.
Tell me, all right, so that triggered you. Why?
Because in my experience, like, there are good people, yes, 1,000%, there's good people. I can say I know people that are good and racist. Not good. They're, like, nice people. If you met them on the street, you'd be like, oh, Jen, look at that guy. What a nice dude. But has these racial biases. And I don't care who you are, the system that our country is based on, shit that we've never even touched on, learned in school, nothing, is all based on racism. Period. It's all based on the fact, I don't care what the fuck you tell me, it's all based on the fact that black people were brought here and treated worse than animals. And that's real. And if you don't really get connected with that and really truly see the history of our country, what the fuck are you even doing here? So that, I don't care who, up into this point, into today, right now, right in this second, everything that you know, everything that you taught was built on the backs of black and brown people. Period.
Facts.
Period.
Facts.
And so you can be as woke or as sweet or as nice or as good as you think that you are, but I don't care who you are, you have inherent biases. If you are a white person, even if you aren't, everybody, different cultures have biases. I've talked to my friend Taylor, Puerto Rican. Even within the Puerto Rican culture, they have biases against people with darker skin.
Yep.
Period. So I don't care who you are, you have internal biases, unconscious biases that You literally, if you don't dig deep down and figure this shit out and work through it, they're always going to be there.
Yeah.
You know, and people, it's hard. One of my very good friends, very good friends, we've had multiple conversations because she, wonderful person, advocates for people, advocates for women specifically, which I love.
Mm-hmm.
Great person. This whole movement's like broken her.
How so? White girl?
White.
Uh-huh.
Grew up in Louisiana, grew up in the South.
Uh-huh.
Didn't have it easy. Dad was a piece of shit. Left. Stepdad was kind of a piece of shit. Just a whole, like, didn't have an easy life.
Mm-hmm.
But is white. Living the dream now, like, badass job, lives in New York, owns 2 homes, like, crushing it. And she's not a naturally empathetic person. She is if she cares about you. Like, if you're her friend, 1,000%.
Mm-hmm.
But she's compartmentalized, she's very matter of fact. And this whole thing, we've had multiple conversations where she's like, obviously, this movement is very quick and it's happening all very fast, and there's a lot of information coming at you from everywhere, okay?
I'm sorry, I just gotta say, this isn't new.
This isn't new.
Black Lives Matter is not new. It's not quick.
It's not new, it's not quick. But now, if you get on social media, it's like a steamroll.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of information coming at you quick.
Okay.
It's not new. I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
It's not new.
No.
This shit's been, and it was demonized whenever it first started.
Yep. Well, and it's been demonized now.
It's demonized now still, yeah.
Not to, I don't want to digress from your point. Like, and it's not against, because I know you're talking about your friend's perspective.
Dude,
so.
it's fine. It's fine. We've had some very honest conversations with each other.
Yeah.
So this whole thing just kind of broke her because she just didn't know. She's like, I understand the movement, I get it. But she was like, you know, and that's when the white fragility comes in. She was like, kind of made a joke, like, my white fragility is showing, like, I don't know what to do. I feel like I don't even know myself anymore. She's like, there's a couple of different perspectives. So you have, like, black women, teachers, educators, amazing women that are doing really, really great things. But a lot of them are very matter of fact because they have to be. You have to be to protect themselves because they've been doing this work for a hell of a lot longer than so-and-so found them on Instagram.
Yeah.
So they have to be very rigid with rules and how they feel about things because they get a lot of pushback from white women specifically, unfortunately, that are like, why can't you just tell us in a nice way? This isn't a nice topic.
Yeah.
How do you want me to curate this for you, Sharon? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she was dealing with that. She was like, when I've been told I'm a racist piece of shit and blah, 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 whatever, and I just can't da-da-da. And it was that, like, why can't they, like, speak my language?
Who's they?
So to speak. Like the educators, the black educators, people that are, like, been doing anti-racist work, that kind of thing.
Why can't they speak this white woman's language?
Yes. Kind of coming at it from a fact, because she felt attacked in certain aspects. That's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying, like,
what?
You have good intentioned people that
are missing the
point.
I don't mean to laugh at your girl.
I know. She's coming around. We've had a lot of conversations. She's like,
it's good.
It was just, she got broken. But that's what I'm saying, like, that's what I'm saying. There's a spectrum of people that are open and well-intentioned, but still don't get it, and that's because of white privilege.
So, okay, what does white privilege mean to you?
White privilege is, quite frankly, like, I've never had a bad run-in with a police officer. I've cried my way out of traffic tickets. I don't get scared when I get pulled over. I was always taught that the cops were the good guys, and if you were in trouble to go to them. That's not the truth for a lot of other people in this country. I haven't had a hard life. I have had some very hard struggles, which we all do.
Sure.
We all do. There was times where I didn't know if I could eat that night, or if I could pay my rent, or if I could, that's shit happens. However, white privilege is the fact that I could be late on my rent. My landlord let me be late on my rent because I was waiting to get paid. Or I had to work 3 more shifts and I'd have my rent money. You know what I mean? That's white privilege. That's an aspect of it. Had I been a black woman, who knows? It's these little leniencies that you get constantly that you don't realize because that's just been your whole life.
Yeah.
I'm not scared to walk into a bar full of white people.
Yeah.
And what kind of reception am I going to get if I go to a fucking a crotch cocktail spot?
Come on.
You know what I mean? I've never ever second guessed it. Never had to. That's white privilege.
No, and that's very relatable because of your industry, right?
Yeah.
No, I would 100% agree.
But yeah, it's these steps that have not been taken, and it's not these big grandiose things. Some of them absolutely need to be, yes, but I don't want to boast or whatever. I feel very, very grateful for my company. One, obviously there's work to be done, but if you look at some of the more middle management and the field team, we're very diverse. We're a very diverse group, which I love.
Yeah.
My team specifically, we're all white. There's 6 of us though. We have a very small team. We did have one, Dwayne, love him, but he, left to go to Campari a couple of years ago. We don't have any black people on our team. So we've taken a step back and then just have been discussing things with, we started a committee that is now going through the process of starting a diversity committee within the company, which is great.
Yeah.
So we are a pretty diverse group in upper management, director, executive.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Hit me.
You said something that hit me, and I just want to unpack it.
Okay.
What it meant to you, if it meant anything. You said we're all white.
We're all white.
And then you said immediately, there's only 6 of us though.
Exactly.
Well, what's the problem?
It's my problem for saying there's only 6 of us though, because I'm justifying that it's a small group.
So I wanted to call it, but it's not. This isn't bashing.
No,
right?
I know it. I know it's not. But see, this is why we have to have these.
That's why we have to. That's
because it's these unintentional things. This unintentional speech.
Yes. And the only reason I felt comfortable enough to point that out is because I know you, and you were comfortable enough to sit here. And if we're gonna enter dialogue, let's be real. Let's not sit here and right?
Yeah.
But that jumped out to me. It's only 6 of us though.
But see, it's like a justification immediately.
Yeah.
But again, that's white privilege. Again, that's me just being oh, well, let me justify this for you real quick. It's not justified. I can't say, well, there's only 6 of us. It's a small group. Yeah. We could be more inclusive and we could be more diverse. 1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000%. That is what it is.
Yeah.
And I do feel lucky enough we are a very small company in the U.S. We only have about 300 employees. In Canada, LATAM, and America.
Oh, wow. That's super small.
Yeah, so we're a very lean group of people.
Yeah.
So we are diverse in middle management and things like that. Executive, not so much.
Yeah.
Hopefully that changes. But, immediately we were Diversity Council, here's what we're doing, we're going to make it happen. And it's been illuminating to see the black employees really stepping up and coming to the plate, and then being able to see people are leaning on them now for things, and hopefully that's going to get some traction and attention for when we stop our hiring freeze and they get to move up within the company.
Yeah. because people leaning on them to be like, hey, how can we talk about this? How can we,
1000%.
right? So, okay, can I give you a little bit of history?
Yeah.
As far as why this George Floyd was so significant in my mind. Why the protests, why the riots, why the anger, why all of that. So, Amy, bullshit you not. My group and I don't know if you ever seen me post about like my
Black men who smoke.
Black men smoke
on
cigar
that
group. That's right. Well, cigars, but I smoke hookah too. But I do a little bit of that too.
Okay.
I do a lot of that too. So my cigar group, man, we had a Zoom meeting Friday, May 26th, 7th, 8th, whatever the Friday was before Memorial Day. Okay? And
George Floyd was the 25th of May.
right. So okay, so ours was like 22nd or 3rd or whatever
Yeah,
it
so
was.
like the week before.
Yep, the Friday before. And our main topic of conversation was Ahmaud Arbery.
Heartbreaking.
So, heartbreaking, yes. That's a mild way, right, of putting it. Like, and understand, like, these guys are a lot younger than me for the most part. By and large, I mean, I'm like 33, and I'm one of the oldest ones on this group, right? There's one older, my co-founder. And so anyway.
Quick sidebar.
Yeah.
Is this community group, like, you know, each other from church, from working out, from...
Literally started a cigar group with my guy. We were interns together.
Mm-hmm.
And while Victoria and I were still dating, I went to Cigar Bar solo. I saw him. He was with a group of older black men. I was like, and I saw the visual, and I saw that imagery, and it was so powerful. And I was like, we need more of that. Like, I want some of that. So and we met up like another week later, and then he helped me with some business ideas. I was like, bro, we need to like, we should build a group around like this whole, you know, empowerment, encouragement, just like free space, like easy space. Safe space to just be men, whatever. So we started like, bro, like, black men smoke. We started inviting some people. Some people came, fell off, whatever. But now it's organically where it is, right? Yeah. And it just so happens to be a lot of younger guys, early 20s to late 20s to us being early 30s, being the oldest.
Old guys,
right?
Yeah. Dang it.
And so that's how it started. No one church, none of that. It was very organic, and so. We have this Zoom call, we're talking about Ahmaud, and like emotions are high for 2-3 hours, right? And the tone of it is just like the despair, the anger, the hurt. So I knew that from my own little community, and we had 18 guys in that Zoom, which is a big Zoom.
That's a big call.
It's a big Zoom. And we had a guest speaker, a guy I went to school with, who wrote this amazing article on Ahmaud, and that was like the context of our call. And so I just remember the emotion of that call, and I know everybody was right here already on the line. Everybody was right there, right on the line, right? We don't even get a chance to catch our breath. And then on Tuesday, the George Floyd thing. Like, when it came out, I remember it was on my iPhone news. I didn't even look at it. Like, I was like, I couldn't even accept it as reality. Until I saw more posts on social media, and then I had to, and I had already lost it behind Ahmaud, like to the point Victoria had to come out one night. She goes to bed early because she gets up on the train. I was hollering. I lost it, Amy, and she had to come hold me, and I was just like,
you work out, you go on runs and shit. Like,
could have been me. It
I just
literally
don't understand how people
me.
did it.
It could have been me, and like even like after Ahmaud, shortly after I learned, like when I was running, I was like, man, I need to take one AirPod out. Like I gotta like, what kind of life is like? Those were the things I was like screaming at God, at the world, universe, whatever. I was just like, what kind of life is? Why do they hate us? Like that was Ahmaud, and then George happened, and I was undone. And so I get it, like the voice of the people. The rioting, the looting, all of this is the voice of people that are past the edge. It's a whole other discussion to talk about the opportunists and the groups that have come in to make it worse, all of that shit. Like, well, yeah, that's a whole other, put that over there, but like, just from my experience with my community and the people that I know and walk with, like, they were already, Amy, I'm telling you, like, I had one of my young bros, like, mom called me, like, I'm so worried about him. Where can you talk to him? what? Like, he's so angry. You know what I mean? Like, it's all. So when you ask him, am I okay? No, I'm not okay. I'm not okay. You know, because I'm bearing the brunt of my own emotions, and also like I'm in a position of walking with, you know, people that are all in this thing. And anyway, I don't even know where I was going with that, but that was the history I wanted to give you, just like why I feel George Floyd is so significant. You had Ahmaud right before it, and the fact that it happened in February, that was that confusion was another big emotion. Why the hell is this just not, if they wouldn't have recorded it, who released the video, right? Like,
exactly.
This shit would have never got.
You would have never heard about it. You wouldn't know who he was. But that's the thing. Why do we have to have? Why can't you just take people's word for it? These experiences heard time and time again. Time and time again.
Because when you don't see them as people, that's why.
But see that, I never fucking understand that. If that were me, if that was my brother, if that was my dad, if that was Kirk, I would burn the fucking world to the ground. How do you not understand this? How do you not relate to that?
Yeah.
Everybody has family. I don't care who you are. Everybody has family, whether it's your actual family or chosen family.
Yeah.
Everybody has people they care about. How does it not compute to you that that man is somebody's son, somebody's brother, somebody's uncle, somebody's nephew? How does that not... That's what I don't understand. I'll never get people that think that there are no racial disparities or injustices when it's right there, literally in black and white for you. Literally in black and white for you. After that, their video came out of white people doing the exact same thing. I've walked in my neighborhood and seen a house for sale. I'm like, ooh, and like go look in the window. Ooh, that's nice. Look at that flooring. People do that shit all the time. You see white people do it all the fucking time. You're not gonna. Yeah. I know. I'm sorry.
No. Don't apologize. Do not apologize, Amy. I need you to not apologize and don't react to my reactions and things, because that's just, I mean, we're in the space of, yeah, it is what it is. But no, please don't apologize. There's nothing. Don't walk on eggshells. Don't apologize, because it's just reality. I'm
a white person that's never had to deal with this, and I'm fucking pissed. I can't imagine. And I have been aware of these things for years.
How?
What have I been?
How so?
What have I been doing, Ferguson?
You know, I was there. You know, I was there for that,
Were
right?
you?
I was in St. Louis for that. I was living. Oh, I could tell you a story.
But that's what I'm saying. We've been aware of this shit forever.
And that's when Black Lives Matter really
took off. And that's when
2016.
everybody was Black Lives Matter is a terrorist, whatever the fuck the media wants to label it to make white people comfortable. And it sucks. And it's fucking stupid. And I was pissed then. I was fucking pissed then. But then the news cycle finishes and people get over it and life goes on, and that can't happen anymore. It's been happening. That cannot happen anymore. It can't.
So, okay.
You have to disrupt the fucking system.
So, in that vein, let me ask you, what does Black Lives Matter mean to you? I think I might have asked you earlier, but I'm going to ask you again. Because I don't think I have a clear picture. Clearly it means something. That's undebatable.
Yeah. To me personally.
And I'm picking up my phone not to text, so I'm taking notes, okay? Because I want to quote you correctly.
I don't want to misstep here.
No, you're good. Just speak.
I'll just tell you how I feel,
speak from the heart.
what it means to me.
And I'll write the tempo up.
What it means to me is these are black people are humans. And again, go back to the history of America, and black people have always been treated as subhuman, sub-animal a lot of the times. And for whatever reason, we know it's the system that perpetuates it. But there are people that look at you and don't see you as a person.
Facts.
And that's not right. We cut me open, cut you open, we're going to bleed the same blood. We're all human beings. That's somebody's grandmother. You're somebody's brother. I'm somebody's sister. I'm a daughter. What's the disparity? Well, I don't understand, like, Black lives literally matter. And these people that are like, oh, all lives matter. Yeah, okay. Fucking idiots. Yes, but that's not the point. The point of it is that this particular group of people, marginalized people, are literally being murdered in the fucking street for no reason and get zero reparations whatsoever. And that's the fucking problem. That's why Black lives matter. That's why they need to matter. That's why people need to see.
That's not cool.
Black people, how, like, what's the fucking difference? You know? And I
do.
Oh, I know you know. It's just, so to me, it's, I don't know.
Tell me about your opinion on white fragility.
I think it's very real.
What does it mean to you? Like, what does it mean, period? Like, because I still don't know if I understand.
White fragility essentially is, if I sat here with you, you're telling me your experience, and then I'm going to feel guilty about not acknowledging your experience and making it about myself and my feelings and how I'm sad because of it.
So is that not white guilt?
It's white guilt and fragility. Also, well, there's a difference. So that's white guilt. Yes. I'm glad you mentioned that. Fragility, I think, is, to use an example, you know, one of my friends is like, I just don't get it, and now, like, I feel overwhelmed and sad, so I can't even do anything about it. That's white fragility. That's white fragility, because you have to deal with it. You wake up every day, and you're working on it, and you're making shit happen, and you're working, like, you can't just be like, I'm sad, I'm overwhelmed, and then go in your house and fucking hide. That's white fragility. They get called out. You know, I'll get called out. Hey, don't say shit like that. You can't blah blah blah. Well, I didn't mean to. I mean, I'm coming from a place of love, and I don't even know. Now I'm overwhelmed, and I can't continue to actively listen, continue to act, continue to push some kind of movement forward. And that sucks, because you need white people to tell other white people that, hey, this is fucking wrong, and here's why, and this is why you should care. Because obviously people haven't been listening to Black voices for fucking ever. How is it 2020? And just now, I saw like a stats chart the other day. Even with Ferguson, people that were supporting of the Black Lives Movement, low percentage.
Of course.
And now it's shot up, which is great. It's fucking awesome. Now it's shot up to where, you know, more people are supportive of it, more people are listening, bigger corporations are starting to fucking listen. But how are you just now starting to fucking listen?
When did you realize that you had that level of consciousness?
I think working in the hospitality industry, again, opened me up to a lot. And just breaking away from what I was told to think when you're growing up, from what my grandparents told me to think, from what my parents told me to think, the way I was supposed to act, just kind of breaking away from that and coming into my own a little bit. So I'd say like early 20s, just opening up your world to a hell of a lot more, and then questioning everything. Why am I supposed to be doing this?
That's good.
Why did my mom, well, okay, why?
That's good.
And that's usually my argument that's going along. She'll say something like, why do you think that?
She'll say that. She'll say that to you.
I say that to her.
Oh.
And she's like, well, because blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, but why? So I'd say like early 20s when I started to ask why. And a lot of that had to do, like, get a good job and do things and meet. Okay, well, I'm miserable at this job, so why would I stay here? Okay, well, now I'm going to go bartend. My dad, I hope you should go back to Merrill Lynch, whatever. Why? Because it's a good job. I'm like, I make just as much money here. Yeah, but it's a lot harder. Okay. So just like when I started questioning stuff, it's a process, dude. Obviously, I never want to stop learning. I always want to be open.
That's why you're here.
I want to have conversations.
Right.
There's shit that I'm still very just have no clue about. But I want to know about it.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of like just internal work, working through ego.
That's a big one.
It's a big one.
I've been reading about that a lot lately. The ego has, that's tough. That's tough.
And I think that's a big roadblock into being open to other people and other people's experience.
Facts.
That's part of white fragility too. White ego.
Ooh, white ego, a new term.
It is.
Dare we quote that?
Sure.
A new term, white ego.
Yeah.
So you would tie that into white fragility.
Yeah. I mean, think about these counter protesters. What do you think their basis is? There's nothing wrong with me. Everybody else is wrong. Why would I take an internal look at myself and how I could be possibly wrong if I'm not? Because of my ego. You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah. Wow. That's a whole other thing, man. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Trump.
Let's get into it. I've never hated someone more in my life. I'm not lying. I don't hate people. I have zero issues.
It takes so much energy to hate. Oh.
It takes so much energy to hate. I hate to the core of my being. I can't even, if he comes on the news, like I make Kirk change. I can't even see his face. I'm not lying to you.
I believe you. I believe you. It's so far, so much further for that than me that he's truly to me a caricature. Like almost like I've separated myself from the reality that he's actually leading this country. But again, I've separated myself from the reality that I belong in this country. You know what I mean? Like this is a small. I haven't told anyone this. I haven't even told the guy, my gym owner, when I did the speech. He gave me Amy. What'd you put in there? You didn't put it in there?
Truth serum.
All right. He gave me this headband. It was like, man, I got a big ass head. I can't fit this. It was black and white. It had the stars and stripes on it. And he gave it to me. This was last summer. And I always turned it inside out. I was just like, I'm not, like, I can't really vibe with the flag. Like, when Colin Kaepernick took a knee and all that shit happened, like, I didn't watch football for it. I love football.
Oh,
Ask her. I used to love the Cowboys. Different relationship now.
I literally this morning told Kirk, I was like, lifelong Cowboy fan. I changed with my dad when we were little.
Dude.
Fuck Jerry Jones, fuck the Cowboys.
I used to love Jerry Jones, and I can't rock with it. How can I?
How can you?
How
he
can you?
supports a literal fucking monster.
He ain't said shit.
Nope.
He hasn't said shit during all
and
this.
he donates to Trump's campaign.
Yeah.
Fuck you and your stupid rich fucking get out. Ugh. Sorry. Ugh.
Don't stop. Hey, you say sorry again.
You're right.
That's the only issue.
Gotta go.
So if you want a quick exit, you can say sorry. But no. I mean, honestly. And so, like, I just remember that. I remember him giving me that and me wearing it inside out. I don't think anybody ever noticed. But, like, I felt it. Right? You brought up Ferguson. I was landing in St. Louis. Yes, I lived in St. Louis from 2012 to early 2016. Actually, about summertime 2016. I remember landing. I saw all these flashing lights, all these first responder vehicles from the airplane before I hit the airport, because it's in the north side. I live kind of south. I remember looking down like, shit, there's a fire. I remember seeing a fire and seeing all these vehicles. It was a QT that they set on fire. I had no idea. And then when I landed, I was going home. All of these, I was hella nervous because all of these first responder vehicles were flying on the highway. I was like, shit, what I do? Like, so I'm driving, two hands, like, blah, blah, I'm like, they're flying. We all know what happened. They burned the QT down, all of that. I had one of my friends is a black realtor, very successful in St. Louis, still is, and she still helps me maintain my property there and all of that. And like, we went down amongst the protests like the next day. What they didn't show was the black biker gang that was patrolling the area. You could still smell the fumes of the fresh flames and all of that. They were playing Bob Marley. There was so many white people there, standing in unity, passing out water. There was a group of Tibetan monks there, no English. They're in their full garb and everything. They're in unity, support. Hella news cameras and trucks around. Not one of them rolling.
No.
Because that wasn't news, right?
It's just the drama.
You want to see the drama?
The looting and whatever the fuck.
But you just feel people there. I never experienced, and I was just like, there was no news on, there was no TV, there was nothing, and you were just there, present. Fast forward to like the verdict. I was still living there, and when they let the cop off, I remember I was watching TV. I was watching it on TV, and I remember his parents and his parents weren't even together at the time, and they just melted. Everybody's standing outside the courthouse, and I was like, I remember like, shit, I gotta stay in, lock the door. I called my boys. I was mentoring some young guys. I was like, man, y'all boys, be safe, because it's about to pop, and it popped. They oh my gosh.
Rightfully so.
And they burned the city down again.